Okay, let's go ahead and summarize what we learned today. So, lesson 5.2 in our book, and it's all about completing the square. So I start off with this question. Okay, here's my question. Solve for x. And in this particular form, what's really nice about this problem is solving it's easy because of the square in the entire expression. So to get rid of the square, I just square root both sides, right? Square root, square root. I know the square root of 25 is 5, but don't forget there's always two answers. So it's 5 and negative 5, because negative 5 times negative 5 is also 25. So when I square root it, then the square cancels the square root, or the square root cancels the square, and then it's gone. So all I'm left with is x plus 5. But I took the square root of 25, which is plus or minus 5. Have to have two answers, right? Have to have two answers. So I'm going to solve for x. I'm going to make my mini equation. I have x plus 3 equals positive 5, and an x plus 3 equals a negative 5. Okay, then I just solve. You know, minus 3, one answer is negative 2, and then minus 3, the other answer is negative 8. And I can test these answers pretty easily. If I were to put 2 in here, 2 plus 3, 2 in here. 2 plus 3 is 5, pi squared is 25, awesome. Negative 8, I can test it, negative 8 in here. I go negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5, but negative 5 squared is 25. So both answers work. Now, I like this form, but sometimes the problems are not in this form, but I like them in that form. So, for example, this question here, if it doesn't factor, if it does not factor, then you have to have a new technique. It's called completing the square. So here's our lesson today. We want our problems to be in this form, like this question here. We want it to be in this form, so we're going to change it from standard form by this trick called complete the square, and change it into a form that's easy to do. So here's how complete the square works, okay? Step 1, here's my steps. Step 1, move C, that's A, B, C, move C to the other side. So add of the 16 and brought it over here, okay? So just add a 16. Step 2, we're going to take half of b and square it. So b in this case is 6. Half of b squared. So half of 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to add the 9 to both sides. Add 9 here and add 9 here. So I took half of this number, 3. 3 squared is 9. So I added 9. But to keep the equation balanced, because that's step 3, to keep it balanced, if I add 9 here, I have to add 9 here. Okay. Now, this will factor. This will factor. That's our whole goal. Our whole point is to get this trinomial so it will factor. And I know it's x plus 3, which we can rewrite as x plus 3 quantity squared. Aha, that was the form we wanted to do it. And then we had just previously done this problem. We just solved it. It's up here. So we just go ahead and solve it. Square root. We get plus minus 5. X plus 3 equals 5. X plus 3 equals negative 5. I solve and I get 2, and I get negative 8. All right. Now, this is a problem. Sean said, well, why do you even do this if you can factor? So Sean had a good question. So then, if you have some problems that won't factor, for example, I'll show you in the book. Some problems don't factor, but you can still have an answer. So we took a look at these two questions, right? Same process. Does not factor, though. Step 1, bring over C. Step 2, take half of this, which is negative 3, and negative 3 is positive 9, so we added 9 to both sides. This will factor into an x minus 3, or x minus 3 squared. And now here's the thing. We can take the square root. Square root of 5, it's about 2.24. Square root of 5, it's about 2.24, but I'd rather just keep it as the square root of 5, plus 3, and there's my answer. So if it doesn't factor, we can still get answers. We did the same thing on this question. We brought up the 6, took half of 12, which is 6, and we squared it, which is 36. We added that to both sides. This will factor into an x minus 6, or x minus 6 squared. Square rooted. Square root of 30 is a pretty ugly number. So 5.477, or we just kept the square root of 30. I add 6, and here's my two answers, okay? So we had a worksheet as our homework. And the kids should be working on this as homework. Okay, that's all I have. Come see me if you get stuck.